Yeah. So, hello and welcome to This Time It's Different. I'm here with my guest, BTC Looking Extra Thick, aka Justin. He is on the team at Governor Dow. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. I my weekends are always busy with my real life job, and I worked a late one last night and getting a late start on the day.
Putting in the hours, of course, and the falling into a swing of things.
Oh yeah, no, I can't wait till crypto retires me.
Just to be working around the clock on something else.
Oh yeah, no, I'd way rather be working on graphics.
Yeah, whatever you're passionate about is really the end goal for me, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, no, it'd be nice. I mean, I'm fine working like forever. It's just like I don't want to be stuck in
Yeah,
a
working on what you want to work on.
yeah. I want to be able to like be working on the beaches of
Beaches
Cancun or
of
something.
Normandy.
Oh, yeah, not that.
Those are different beaches.
Yeah,
All right. So, who are you and what do you do?
I'm just a random anon on the interwebs. And primarily I do graphic design, which I've always been into graphic design. I've never really done it as a job till recently, until I got into crypto. I always just did it for fun, just kind of like just BS posting and stuff like
And
that.
that's a follow-up. But how long you been in crypto?
Oh, I've been in crypto since 2017. So I mean, I'm not like a OG or anything, but I've been in it.
You've been around long enough to see a rise and fall and a rise and fall a couple times.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, basically, I mean, I didn't get in right at the top, but basically right at the top of 2017. So I mean, yeah, I'm definitely. This is nothing. This BTC dip is
And
a
so,
perfect buying opportunity.
the random anon thing. So I'm pretty familiar, with how the non lifestyle works. But seeing, could you give me like for our viewers, this would be the second episode of This Time It's Different. So for them, this is the first time it's different in the way of the anon space and what being about, and so for example, my crypto, my Twitter was anon for 2 years. And then I doxed myself to work on Governor. So, yeah, what does being a non really mean to you and to the space?
Well, for me, it's just nice knowing. Well, I mean, so I'm semi-doxed
You're
now that I'm on.
semi-doxed, right?
Yeah, semi. But before, it was nice just being hidden behind this avatar and people not knowing what I look like, people not knowing my name, not knowing where I live, not knowing like what cryptos I hold or anything like that. It's the anonymity, or however you say that.
Yeah, and anonymity or something like that.
Yeah, however you phrase it. Yeah,
I think
anonymity
there's a
is.
saying that's something like, if you want to see who someone really is, give them a mask or something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Something I don't remember the exact
Mm.
phrasing of it, but it's
Well, that's
people
perfect.
act who they really are when they're behind the
Yeah,
mask.
yeah. Well, you don't have to have that self consciousness. You can just say what you feel, be who you really are. That's definitely accurate.
And don't we wish that that's kind of how it was for that's kind of how I try and kind of act now. It's just, but being able to just breathe and say the things that you want to say without, oh, they're gonna figure my face and tell me they hate me or make fun of my nose or something stupid,
Well, so, yeah, especially in this day and age when everybody's super sensitive, like PC culture is running amok. It's like you could get your life ruined if you said something people don't agree with.
Even if you don't intentionally, because a lot of people don't mean to say mean things, but it's just like you don't have to. You can just you're not worried about it at that point. You're just trying to go with the flow.
Yeah, yeah, no, and I've never been someone that just says outrageous things, but I mean, you could just be like saying something random, and someone could take it out of context or something, and then
Right.
try to ruin your life. But I mean, that's where a non
Fortunately, I
comes
haven't
in.
run into that yet.
Oh yeah, no, it's good.
Well, it's
I mean, for the
funny
most,
when the trolls on Twitter. You're familiar and just with the amount of shite that you'll take just from people just because they're mad at somebody
mm-hmm.
else at the world and they're on
Oh yeah,
Twitter.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, Yeah, I haven't really. I've just been just a viewer. I haven't really posted much, but yeah, no, I've definitely seen
I
it for
think
sure.
I've actually run into less friction since I've doxed.
Well, yeah,
As
maybe it's a little different when people see a face instead of just a avatar.
an anon, right?
Yeah.
That's another interesting counter perspective on that. And I really, and just that the anon thing of being having a crypto Twitter. Like when I started my Twitter, I already had another Twitter. I had a non-docs Twitter, and I found link Twitter. That's like kind of how I found through it. And then was kind of convinced that you had to have, if you were going to have a link Twitter, you had to be in a non-link Twitter that only posted about link. And I wanted to have my regular Twitter, and I wanted to like post about music or whatever the hell I wanted to post about. And then my link Twitter was just going to be about link. And then I ended up down that rabbit hole where I had, maybe 1/5 or 1/10 of the followers, and I was getting like 5 to 10 times the genuine engagement because you had people that were interested in that type of, that niche type of community.
Oh yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. It seems like crypto Twitter, it gets mixed with people's real lives a little bit. I mean, I don't know, is it Gainsey? I keep following all his accounts. Actually, it's on his latest account. Hasn't got banned yet, but he seems like he talks a little bit about real life.
I think I've got Gainsey muted.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised some of the accounts I have muted.
Well, I mean, I know you got a keyword for feet. You don't like seeing
Yeah,
feet
no
on your.
feet. I got a Chico muted on there.
Oh yeah, I don't even follow him. I mean, I've watched
So
some
I
of his
don't know if he has a
YouTubes,
Twitter,
but
but I literally have the words Chico and crypto muted. Just
you don't want to see it.
might have to edit that part. I just don't want to see it. Just because the idol worship.
Oh yeah,
Maybe I shouldn't even talk. Maybe I have to edit that part out. I probably won't. But, anyway, so like, where do your passions lie, sir? I know we've talked a little bit about the crypto and the graphics, but like, Jix, you want to expand on that, or how you got started in that?
yeah. Well, I guess like so like I guess a good way for passion would be like say like money wasn't an issue for you. What would you do with your life? And so like for me, it's always been I want to get financially free to where I can like if I just decide I want to travel one day, I can just go ahead and do it. I don't gotta try to get time off or something like that. And so my main passion has always been freedom. And so I guess that kind of plays into crypto because you have uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, you have this freedom.
You kind of find those people with the sovereignty and liberty in crypto kind of in the same place.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so crypto fits perfectly into it because yeah, I mean now that you're your own bank, you don't got to worry about the governments devaluing your money. Uh, Gold and silver is cool, but I mean you can't be traveling around the world with a suitcase full of gold and silver.
Heavy.
Not only is it heavy, some of the European nations tax you if you bring it into their country.
It's really,
35%.
really.
It's crazy. Because I was thinking back in the day I was going to move to a European nation like Ireland,
Cool.
but 35% is freaking insane. And yeah,
I
so
got
you might just sell it and then go.
right. I've got my dad's looking at retiring to Belize, and they have something where if you can prove a certain amount of income per month, then you can retire to Belize and take most of your stuff tax free.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so he got a couple lots over there. We haven't built on it yet, but that'll be something that'll be interesting into the future.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be real nice. I
It's
mean,
the number, I think it's the only country in Central America with English as the national language, and their banks, they need to have like 7 times what they have in-house lent out to lend. So it's like reverse what our structure is.
that's better. That's
Much better.
yeah, much better. Fractional reserve is what's destroying everything.
Yeah, yeah, and so the pretending that money is valued at money, and
Oh yeah, no, exactly. I mean, really, yeah, it's the money is just based on how much the government can collect taxes. All our
and
taxes is interest payments.
and having those 30-year fixed mortgages and guaranteeing that you're going to have citizens, and that's pretty much what the dollar's tied to there, right? And your student loans that are never getting paid back.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, it was a funny thing. It was something. There's some kind of term for the mortgage, like it translates to a death agreement or a death grip or something like that. It's like a death, like I don't know. I can't remember what it was, but it's basically an agreement of like you're in debt till you die, something like that. There's some Greek thing. I'd have to look it up, but it's very interesting. Some of our terminology we use has deeper meanings.
Yeah, it's like a, a all of these things that we're communicating with are all sounds that have been formalized by someone else, that have been given us to communicate with, and where it's so ingrained in our everyday life that it's entirely how we think, and our perception and our ideas and our potential is all limited by our language.
Hmm.
So we don't even know that we can know about things, or you don't have thoughts to think about things. You don't have the horizons expanded to perceive that you can perceive. A lot of people don't, perceive that they perceive, never mind that others perceive them, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I can't remember what I was going to say. There's something. Uh,
About the death sentence.
I don't know if it's that or that we're basically through our school systems, through our television, and everything like that. We've been kind of programmed into the system of working
The
till you
bells.
die.
And they don't reward creativity, and they
Oh,
don't
and free
encourage
thinker.
scholars at a young age, right? And
You
free
know, they don't
thinking
want you
is
thinking
not
for
encouraged.
yourself. Yeah, it's actually discouraged.
If you're coloring outside the lines, you're a problem, sir.
Oh, absolutely. I saw a very
You can't have
interesting
that.
image of just like it was an image of like a bunch of people and a couple heads are popped up here and there, and like a lawnmower with the government. They chopped down the people that popped their heads up. And that's kind of is an illustration of free thinkers, the sheep, and then the free thinkers questioning things. Government can't have people being questioning things.
No, I mean, I don't want to go down too far down that rabbit hole, but if you think about who was, running the place in, ancient Rome, and in those times, it's strong families, right? And big families were
Hmm.
running things. And if they can destroy the family structure, then
Hmm.
you don't have free thinking, individuals. You don't have sovereign entities. If they if you can't stand on your own two legs and you're dependent on the system, you're incapable of building for yourself, and you're reliant on the system. Even if you're reluctant to do so, you have no other choice.
Hmm. Well, that's kind of how they would want it eventually. Like if they end up doing a one world government, they want people dependent on the system. And I think it was Charles Schwab who said it that you'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
The World Economic Forum, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Isn't he the
you'll
head of
own
it or he's on
nothing
the
and you'll be
board?
happy. Yeah, he's
Hmm.
the chairman or whatever.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's like totally anti crypto movement.
Well, it's interesting to say the least. That's for certain.
Hmm.
So what are we kind of already talked about it. What are your end goals? You wanna retire to
Oh yeah.
graphic design in Cancun?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, ideally, I'm probably going to make a home base in Texas, and then just. Well, I mean, COVID ruins everything right now because technically I could do that now, but I mean, with the COVID restrictions and things, it kind of makes it annoying to travel around. Like, I mean, I don't even want to really the vaccine. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. I don't necessarily because like they're kind of forcing it to. You need to get the vaccine to do things, and so that like it really puts a wrench in my plans at least right now until things get figured out. But ideally, with the yield I'm earning from certain cryptos, I definitely am free to go move anywhere I want, travel wherever I want, work wherever I want. But of course, COVID it kind of limits that a bit. And then also maybe the uncertainties of Like if the crashes again, and then you just go get stranded somewhere. Like
Yeah.
your yields go down way far, and then. But I mean, Texas is actually quite cheap living. I mean, I found some nice places in Texas. It's not that much, and I like maybe I'll just pay 2 years in advance rent or something, and I don't gotta worry about it.
There you go. That's one way to do it.
Exactly. But then if Texas has another freeze storm or something,
Yeah, what the hell is that?
yeah, with that, yeah, another
Holy shit.
blackout, I'd have to just buy a bunch of blankets or something.
It'd be hella cold.
Oh hell yeah! But yeah, no, no. My dream's always been just free moving. Like even if I end up just staying in one place for forever or whatever, it's mainly the freedom. If I want to go vacation, I go vacation. If I want to go live somewhere else, I go live somewhere else. It's just with a job that you're geologically trapped to, you kind of get anchored into the system in a way to where
100%.
it's just you just keep
That this whole revolution of being able to, work from your computer and the Wi-Fi business era
Mhm.
and being able to make money mobily is an entirely different, world. And even from 10, 20 years ago, these types of opportunities were never possible.
Yeah, no, I mean, it would be cool if like this type of work environment a couple of years ago before COVID, this would have been a dream. Because I mean, I know people have been working from home doing like different things, like
Right. A little bit.
yeah, but like for the most part, the grand scheme, there wasn't so many people working from home like there is now, and it was more of a specialty in a way, I guess, or novelty. But now it's more widely accepted. It's kind of, I mean, it's nice. And I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure that people, because I think I saw a study that a lot of people don't want to return to the office, which makes sense.
I believe it.
Yeah, and then there's some that do, but I think the people that don't outnumber the people who do.
Well, I think
And,
there's a certain prowess to having a physical location and having, an office where somebody can come in and, speak to someone.
mhm.
And I think that there's undeniable power in unifying in a location and being on the same wave about the same type of work and creating one type of business and dedicating a certain amount of hours a day in a location in a shared mentality. And I think that is something that's unbridled and can't be matched through the telecommunication era, but also something like we're doing with Governor Dow would have been literally impossible trying to think from a brick and mortar mentality.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And for people who aren't aware, like that would mean, so you're in Oregon, I think.
Yeah.
So
Yep,
you're in Oregon. I'm in Rhode Island, entire opposite coast. We have some other team members in Alabama, Australia, California. We've had people in Stockholm, places in Europe, entirely across the globe. And it would have just been impossible to even start something like this if we were thinking from a pre-COVID mentality.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, brick and mortar. I mean, I know we've been talking about, what was it, a Citadel or a place in Wyoming.
So a smart city.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard that in Nevada. I think Nevada.
So Nevada, they have some things going on there with the smart city now. But if we're going to be Dowified in Wyoming, and Wyoming's got a lot of open space, sir.
And
it's cheap.
And it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's so one of the districts we're looking at has Yellowstone.
Oh, nice.
So that's very interesting. And so what are your market sentiments right now after what kind of just happened over here? Today is 5/31/2021. We just had one of the recent pretty big black swan-ish type event. And how did you make out? And what are your sentiments now? And do you think it's over? Are we going back up?
Well, I'm definitely cut in half like everybody else. I mean, lots of people. Well, I mean, because I always do this. I'm always like, when things are good, I need to cash out a little bit just to have on the side.
DCA out.
Yeah, just because I need it to buy the dips, because the dips are always
different,
Yeah, like, oh, this time it's up only. It's never going down.
Yeah, right. Cup only. I heard cup
Yeah.
only.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I keep screwing that up, and I always want to have like at least like 10, 20 grand on the side for dips because I screwed myself here. But well, yeah, I screwed myself in just unrealized gains. I didn't really screw myself. Well, I did screw myself a
I
little bit
screwed
on
myself.
some future. Yeah, you go pretty crazy on the leverage.
Hmm.
I go a little crazy. Not. I do like a 5%. 5% of my portfolio I use for futures trading. So that's my leverage
Nice.
take. So yeah, and I am definitely I have a good risk management situation. I just didn't execute part of my plan on setting aside some
You gotta
profits in
stick
the
to the
stable
plan.
coin. Yeah, I know. That's really like the root of it. To be a good trader, just you got to make a plan.
Stick to
You
the
gotta
plan, and
stick to the plan. It's absolutely true.
It's gonna be the title of this episode.
Yeah. But I mean, I've done all right. I mean, I'm not. I've like the really garbage coins. I've never put any more than a couple $100 into because those are straight gambles.
Never
like,
work out.
yeah. I mean,
John talked me into buying one yesterday. Didn't work out.
what coin?
E Supreme.
No, I never heard of it. Yeah.
It's funny. People are gonna be like, "Oh, John pitched a Cody thing in the last episode," and then they're gonna see it right after. They're like, "Didn't work out."
The end results. I mean, yeah. The Binance Smart Chain is a good place to watch your money die.
Binance scam chain. Don't sue me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Susie. I didn't mean it. This time it's different, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, but my sentiment for the whole thing is like I absolutely don't think because my original plan is like I'm not even gonna think about cashing like big things out until like at least 100K plus, and like I still believe that we're going 100K plus before the end of the year, and I'll be shocked if we don't. I'll be shocked if we're in a bear market now. How everybody on Twitter says
Yeah, I
we're in
don't
a
think
bear
it's
market.
over. I just tweeted a roller coaster because it's fun.
Oh yeah, no, exactly.
I don't actually
It is a roller
feel,
coaster.
I don't actually feel as miserable. Oh, sometimes I do feel as miserable as I feel, but most of the time, because that's what you're trying to do, right? You're noticing that. I noticed that actually from when I started in CT. If you get the whales thinking that everybody's bearish, they'll pump it.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. Reverse
everybody just
psychology.
tweets bearish, and then it goes up. Come on. It's
Yeah, no, that's
market
true.
10. It's market 103.
Well, also how like the TV economics channels are talking about like Bitcoin's going to I think it was 28 or 29, I can't remember, but I mean I fully believe that yeah, Bitcoin could go to 28K before we see a reversal up to 100K plus for sure.
Yeah, I
But
think it was something similar to in the 2017 pump, where after like 370 something days after the halving, there was a dip to similar proportions before it shot up to Aths. So I'm not too stressed about that.
oh yeah, I mean, and it is really kind of fundamentally different in a way. Like we didn't have as much like institutions as we did before, and they're still buying. Like I think like that hasn't
This
changed.
morning there was like two separate $1 billion tether prints, tether prints, tether prints.
Yeah, I'm really interested if Tether really does have backups. Like if they're not just
Tether's back.
Of course,
the tether's
of course
more
they
back.
do.
The tether's more back than the actual dollar because the tether's
Actually,
dollar.
no, actually, I believe that. That's actually very believable. I would say, let's go as far as to say Tether's backed by gold in the Fort Knox storage facility.
No, the dollar hasn't been tied to the gold since like the 60s.
Oh yeah. When Nixon took us off the gold standard.
Was it Nixon? Who took us off?
I thought it was Nixon.
Better Google it.
All right, because I listen to Robert Kiyosaki a lot, and he says that a lot.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, rich dad, poor dad guy has ingrained that in my psyche. Nixon took us off the gold standard.
So then after that, then the dollar became monopoly money.
Yeah, became just backed up by the government debt. Like,
and now we have it backed by an Excel sheet.
Oh yeah, just a database.
Okay.
And they just keep printing zeros, typing zeros in the thing.
Yeah, calm down, sir. So where so yeah, I know you've been working into a lot of digital creations and media. Where do you find most of your inspiration, or how do you go about your creative process?
I'm definitely heavily on definitely inspiration for sure. Um, I mean, for the longest time, I was more of a remixer. I'd see something cool, and then I'd know there's certain ways I could make it even better. And so I guess it really depends. I definitely am a visual. I have to see some visual things. Sometimes I don't need visuals, but I love seeing something and then being able to make it even better. That's kind of always been my thing. Even when, so like we are thinking, like here's this like an example of like we're thinking of putting a new deck in our backyard. So I saw a couple different options, and then I kind of just remixed things in my mind to make it even sweeter. Um, I don't know. It's kind of hard. I mean, my brain is very ADHD. It jumps from place to place, but I do, in the end, bring it all together.
Amalgamations of thoughts and ideas and combinations.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, I'm able to bring it all together. But yeah, no, I'm definitely a visual inspiration from visuals. Sometimes I don't even need visuals. Sometimes people can just say a couple things, and then I can bring it together. Actually, that's another aspect. Like if people give me an idea, I can usually run with the idea and then make it my version. And for the most part, at least on the things I've been working on, people like we kind of have similar, like we kind of think the same things are cool. So that kind of helps. Like when I make something that I think is cool, typically a fair amount of other people think it's cool too. So that's been very beneficial for me. Because it'd be very demoralizing if you make something that you think's dope. And everybody's like, that sucks.
Well, I think that's a big part of creating, is just creating without, remorse, if you will, just creating and letting it go, and then taking it out. And then if you need to readjust, just readjust, because if anything, you pretty much figure out, I find a big part of my process is learning what doesn't work.
Oh, that's true, especially with trading. Actually, no, that's very true. Yeah, you can see what aspects people like,
Trial by fire.
Yeah, you refine it, like refine it in a refinery.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's very true.
Just making it. What's the worst part? Change it. What's the worst part? Change it. What's the worst part? Change it.
Yeah, and then you have a perfect. Actually, yeah, that's true. Like I when I make something that I think's cool, I often just keep staring at it, and then I eventually see something I want to tweak and make better. But I think that's a huge part. Like you got to really enjoy the process.
The whole part of being, especially as creatives, like never thinking something's done.
You're
not finalizing it, or not thinking something's not good enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, always be willing to come back to it and make it better, tweak it. Because you can always make something better. Nothing's ever, especially if you rest on your laurels. That's how competition overtakes you. You got to always be
right. If you spend too much time refining something and building something, and working on your smart contracts for 3 years and never actually dropping a product, you can't really be an Ethereum killer if you don't have any of the qualities of Ethereum. I don't care how fast your transactions are running if you don't actually have any meaningful transactions being made.
That sounds like an ADA jab.
I didn't say anything, sir. I didn't say anybody. I didn't name any names, sir. Okay, so we'll move towards the end of the call here, sir. What are your hopes for, the future in the space? Actually, I do have a couple more questions, so I'm not actually I'm not in a rush. So what is your hopes for the future, and your goals for yourself or the space? And what do you kind of, if you could see something in the space, what would you create or implement?
Well, I guess it would probably be more, user friendliness, because I have lots of older people I try to help, and they're not very tech savvy. and like the things we do don't seem that hard. Like we're just doing like put some money on MetaMask, we interact with a couple different web pages and contracts and things. We don't think it's like that difficult, but
My
the
dad
older
can't do it.
yeah, yeah, the older generation has a hard time with it. So I think an improvement would be really streamlining and making it like just like in a sense like dummy proof. Like I
What if
mean
we
like
made a video about how the Ethereum network works?
isn't there some, or I guess there may not be some that are just so basic. Actually, yeah, that could be an idea to make like super like
Same way
you
we've done our other videos, like just something that explains how the network gets clogged and why how gas works, and
yeah.
maybe and why your transactions fail or why transactions cost certain amounts of money
I mean we can also do things
and
like
what DApps are,
yeah, that's true. I mean, and even like um I think like just like painfully detailed on every
silly
process.
cartoons, not really silly, but like user friendly, something that
Oh, for
doesn't,
sure.
because if it's like actually real, like they get afraid. So we we got to show them in cartoons, otherwise they won't get it.
hmm And then maybe accompany them with a tutorial if they want to actually do it themselves. Well, because yeah, no, I mean like because like some people, yeah, like I don't know how to explain it, but like this, they get overwhelmed with certain things, and with with technology, there's always some random little bug you could run into.
MetaMask. Oh, I gotta have my own wallet. Oh,
Oh yeah, and they don't write down the private key,
I'm
and
gonna make
they
sure I don't
forget
lose this key.
they forget their password.
It's not that hard, guys. I'm sorry for making fun of you.
Well, eventually they'll get it, and I think eventually there'll be tools or something that make it just so basic
Well, if we
that
can make, get some more involvement with like Finavant Tech, with setting people up with wallets, biometrically,
oh yeah, yeah, no, that would be perfect because I mean unless they get
sign
a
with your face and your voice, friend.
yeah, well actually what did they say, like say you got in like a wreck or something, you got like your face just got messed up in a way, like what if your face gets altered in an accident or
Then your
something like
voice,
that, so it'd still be your voice.
and then your password.
Okay, so Finavant would work like that.
Well, so right now it's voice and face.
Well, so like say you do the voice face and then like later on you got an accident, your face is now different for whatever reason. Would
So the
they have
thing
to
literally,
re-enroll?
it detects your voice would age with you. If you were using it like on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, it would
Hmm.
detect the aging process in you. So in a year, 2 years, we would know as that's you as you're aging. And then as it's learning you, it becomes more refined.
Hmm. Well, so my main thing is like, what if your face drastically changes? Do you have to re-enroll at that point?
Well, you
Like,
couldn't re-enroll. We would just that'd be a special by case thing.
oh, okay, case by case. Yeah, okay, for
Yeah,
sure.
because ideally nobody's face is getting mangled. So we don't work that into our major
Yeah,
work.
yeah, it'd be
But
such a rare.
it's
Yeah.
if then when type situation.
Hmm.
We can figure that out for you there, sir.
Sure.
Yeah, so what like are you asking, so if you're gonna like wear somebody's face like Silence of the Lambs and try and sign into try and sign into
Well, I
their
mean,
wallet?
I mean, they do make some legitimate.
The deepfake thing is something that the Thiccc technology would be perfect against, but
Oh,
it's
that'd be
something
awesome
advancing
because
over time. Yeah,
that deep fake stuff could be a real problem for in the future.
no
As far,
deepfakes.
yeah,
Well,
no,
it's like
because
it's if you turn like you can like do 3D. There we could do it so that you move your face. So it'd be like turn your head to the left and like it's like the full model scope of your face, and
no, no, that's
we can
legit.
like
Yeah,
level it all the way up.
yeah, because I think it was some Android biometrics early on, at least, like pictures were unlocking people's phones. But I think Apple iPhone has the 3D esque thing for unlocking iPhones. So
Yeah,
no,
so
that's
it'd be
very
very
cool. Very cool.
similar.
Yeah,
But
no, that's
this tech
perfect.
is way more advanced than the Apple
Oh
stuff.
no, that's good. Yeah, no, that's solid. I mean, it's gonna be cool. I mean, because like really, as far as biometric goes, I mean, I've definitely seen everybody else's Siebel
Sybil,
resistance,
Sybil,
Siebel. Everybody else's Siebel defense seems like more of like I think
junk.
what Jeff Yeah, well, I think Jeff said it. Like basically, it was like quizzing, doing different quizzes and stuff, trying to prove you are a person. It just seems like the way we're doing it is way, I don't know, it's easier and more
It's more
secure
sophisticated.
and better. Yeah, no, for sure. And I think once more people realize what we're doing, this thing will sell itself and people will see the value.
I
And
agree.
especially once we get some governments involved, it'd be really cool when you guys start pitching to some government bodies.
Excited for that 2022 Republican convention in Georgia there.
Oh, you guys are going to go to that and demo
Well,
the.
so it's a work in progress. Britain or somebody on the team might be doing a presentation of the tech there.
Yeah, no, that's really cool.
It'd be very cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
So any last words of wisdom here, sir, before we wrap her on up? Advice for the
I guess
people at home.
I guess my advice would be, if you've ever like, it's basically never give up. Like if you have something that's worthwhile, just always keep after it. So like, I guess an example would be like 2017 crypto. It was already blowing up. A lot of people were like, "Oh, it's too late. It's too late. Don't get in." If you would have listened to that, you would have missed like this recent bull run we had, and I think we still have. So I guess my advice would be to, I guess, listen to your gut. Go for it. Don't live in a guilt. Don't live with guilt. Try to avoid all guilt as possible. I guess that's not really elegantly spoken, but try to live a life that has as little regret. I guess not guilt, it was regret. Try to live a life with as little regret as possible.
You always regret the things you didn't try to do more than the things you did.
Exactly. Do everything, even if it's uncomfortable. Like get comfortable being uncomfortable. Like
life
for
is
me,
just outside of your comfort zone.
Exactly. And like I've always been like a introverted kind of person. So like I'm not like super outgoing or anything like that. So like I don't know. I mean, I know there's some other people that are like introverted too, but like I think that's what's nice about the internet and anonymity. You're anonymous, anon. You can kind of like break out of your introverted ways. Like you can really start getting comfortable just being yourself. So I guess actually what's huge about tech is that it can really help you break out of your introvert ways.
You can hash yourself in a way to where you're anonymous, but you're more open than ever.
Exactly. Yeah. Anonymous, and you don't gotta you don't gotta worry. I mean, the future might get a little more dicey to where you can get doxxed easier, but I mean it doesn't matter. I mean, it's all good. I mean, initially maybe you're afraid of getting doxxed. I mean, really, I guess the main thing about getting doxxed is you're just more afraid of, like, if you're one of those people on Twitter that's like bragging about like all the millions you have, then I might be a little concerned about getting doxxed, maybe because of the $5 wrench attacks they talk about. But I mean, it still seems like such an odd, like such a rarity.
Mark Cuban doesn't have any problems. I mean,
it's true.
He does, but
maybe he's got security with him.
He's got security, I'm sure.
I mean, he's a big Ov fan. That's cool. He loves Ov. I mean, he loves Matic too because it's cheap fees.
True that. I remember I was buying Ov before Mark Cuban.
Oh yeah, he predated him. Actually, did you get into Ov when it was cheap?
I was using a little bit of it, pretty low, and I rode it pretty far.
Nice.
Yeah. But then I hurt myself, so now I'll box Danny.
Oh man.
Justin, Vitalik, and Stanny all can get the hands anytime. All right, we're gonna wrap it up here. Box for charity. Yo, that's what I'm gonna do. Exactly. I'm gonna challenge them. If they don't come to the Governor Event Center in Wyoming and box me for charity.
Governor Invitational.
The Governor Invitational. We're gonna have a lot for that.
Yeah, no, that'd be perfect. Just Justin Sun. He needs to. Actually, I haven't seen a lot of Justin Sun lately.
Vitalik,
Yeah, Vitalik.
Danny, all of them.
Dude, did you see Vitalik sold a bunch of ETH before it dropped?
55 million to Coinbase.
Yeah, I feel like he's got some inside info.
His fault. That's why. No, that's why I'll box him because of that.
Yeah, it's true. Well, actually, one more thing. Have you heard of TrueBit?
I know a little bit of it, I think.
Well, so TrueBit was the person who made TrueBit was one of the co-founders. Well, so he wrote Solidity. He wrote the programming language.
Oh,
Solidity.
okay. No, I don't know about this.
Well, so TrueBit is trying to make Ethereum run better. I think the breakdown was like they can cut the fees in half almost or more. I don't know. I don't know everything about it, but it seems solid. I mean, the dude who wrote Solidity is making this, and he's trying to. He's been working on it for like three years, I believe, 3-4 years. Yeah, no, I mean, it funnels the transactions in such a way, or it takes. Or no, I think what it does is it takes the transactions and it does it, and then it feeds it back to Ethereum. So in a way, it takes all the heavy lifting away from Ethereum. It does the heavy lifting. Feeds it back, and I don't think it's necessarily a layer 2 or not, but I'm not sure. Actually, see, I'm not super versed in it. I just know it sounds like a solid project, and it's something that's worth looking into if people haven't heard of it yet.
TrueBit.
Yeah, TrueBit protocol. But the fact that, and another thing about it is like, so you have Charles Hoskinson's, he made ADA. You got whoever made Dot. I can't remember him. The guy who made Dot, he's also an Ethereum co-founder. But it's just like all the Ethereum co-founders have made their own projects. And so like ADA popped off. We had Dot pop off. AVAX was, no, I don't know if AVAX was Ethereum people, an Ethereum co-founder or not. I can't remember. But I just feel like just looking at similarities, I feel like TrueBit is just, it could very well. It's called TrueBit protocol, TRU, True. True is the ticker.
I've seen that. Yeah. Okay. I do know about that.
Yeah, no, I just think, I think it's something worth looking into, and obviously not financial advice, but I just think it could be a good one.
All right. That's definitely something I'll check out then.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's worth taking a gander. Could turn out to be pretty good.
Okie dokie then. Well, that is our last words of wisdom. And we thank you for joining. This time it's different. Thank you for joining us, BTC Looking Extra Thick, aka Justin.
Yeah, no problem.
And we shall talk to you soon.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, brother. Take care.
See ya. All right, bye-bye.